this video I will be going around the world and turning these countries into PHONK songs. Alright, let's go. So I have been doing this series called PHONK Worldwide where I take countries and turn them into PHONK songs, so I asked you guys on my post which country you want to see. The first country on my list is Poland, which is one of the 13 Slavic countries, so you know there's going to be an accordion on this track. So the first thing I did was finding this cool folk song called Soa, which is a classic Polish folk song. I dragged the a cappella into my DAW and learned this song has a triplet rhythm, so set the time signature to 2x4 and spend hours figuring out the tempo and aligning the audio to the grid. This song seems to be around 77 BPM, but I will speed it up to 115 because we're making this funk. Now I am going to lay down a simple 2x4 beat and add in a hi-hat that swings. Now I am going to add Polish instruments such as accordion, cymbalum, and an ocarina. I then added a cowbell to play the main melody, added a cyber bass sound with a moving bass pattern. Don't forget that sub bass. I structured a song and then mastered the track. Here's what I got. Next up is Japan. I went on the internet to do some research about Japanese music theory and learned they have their own pentatonic scale system. I listened to these scales, but the one that stood out to me the most was the Kunamoy-Joshi scale, which is sometimes called the Sakura scale. You basically take any major pentatonic scale, lower the second and sixth note by a semitone, and raise the third by a semitone. Now to make it sound more Japanese, I am going to use an instrument called the shamisen, which is a Japanese-like banjo. I will make a Japanese melody using the Kunamoy-Joshi scale in the key of D. Now I'm going to add more Japanese instruments like the shakuhachi flute and the tizi. I will use these instruments as ornaments throughout the song. I will also use the shakuhachi flute to play a counter melody to the shamisen melody. Now I will add a koto, which is sort of like a harp but played with finger picks. I found this instrument sounds really good in the overall context of this track. Here's what it sounds like so far. This track is lacking PHONK sounds, so the first thing I did was made a simple 4x4 drum beat. I spent some time creating a complex hi-hat pattern and side-chained it to the kick. Now I am going to design a bass sound using serum. I will add a lot of distortion for this one. Then I will
stack the layers
with more serums and put more distortion. And then I will
stack the layers.
Now this track is missing the most important sound. Cowbell. The cowbell sound is very dry, so I am going to put some saturation and add a lot of reverb. I will make sure the wetness is very high because I want this cowbell to sound like it's swimming in an ocean full of wet reverb. Actually, this is a bit too much. So far this track is coming along pretty well, but it's missing the most important sound to make this track really Japanese. So I went on YouTube looking up some old classic Japanese hip-hop tracks and stumbled across a rap group called BeatZ. I found this song which I have no idea how to pronounce it.
人間発電所
Thanks Google. It translates roughly to human power plant. It's an uplifting song with a powerful message that states the importance of taking action on your own rather than relying on others for help. I find that this song fits perfectly with this track, so I isolated the vocals using RIPX, mixed the vocals in with the track, mastered the entire song, and here's what I got. The next country is South Africa, and I want to focus on a province there called KwaZulu-Natal, or also called Zululand. This province is the home of one of the largest tribes in South Africa, the Zulus. From a tribe to becoming a kingdom that stood against the British Empire. The Zulu have a lot of history, and I think that a PHONK song can best describe the Zulus musically. So the first thing I did was set the BPM to 130, and started off with a 4x4 kick pattern with some
layers.
Now I am going to add South African percussions like this dun-dun loop and da loop. Now I will play a tambourine which will substitute it for a hi-hat pattern. For the snare sound I will be using a djembe because this drum be really busted. Now I will fill in the track with a heavy Zulu-inspired cyber bass sound to make it sound futuristic, and a cowbell. Here's the track so far. The idea is there, but it's missing the most important sound to make this really sound Zulu. I found just Zulu sample online where it has a lot of Zulu sound ranging from melodic vocals, war cries, and even funny sounds. I'm going to browse and select the best vocals which best fit for this track. I will mix the vocals using EQ, compression, and reverb. I wanted to add melodic African instruments, so I added balo, which is an African-like marimba, and a mobira. Now I will mix this track and finalize it with an ozone on the master bus. Here's what I got. All songs in this video are available on all platforms. Let me know which country you want to see next. Thanks for watching and stay based.